My name is Krista Moore, and I'm the CEO and founder of K Coaching Inc. We are a learning and development organization really focused on sales and sales leadership and business development. Well, my background is sales and sales leadership, but I was one of those salespeople that was thrown into management without really any training or learning, and I wasn't so good at it. And so I had some experiences to where I really needed to up-level my game in order to be more effective. So I did a lot of, personal development and training in that area. But eventually, I ended up quitting my corporate job and starting my own company. So I had worked for corporate America for over 20 years in sales and sales leadership. And as a female in sales, I felt that the only opportunity I had for growth was to move and take on the next biggest challenge. And I had 2 children and a husband without a job, and I was the major breadwinner. And I moved 15 times in 10 years for corporate America, trying to kind of up my game and continue to grow in that environment. And I enjoyed myself for sure. But I got into sales by accident. It wasn't like my lifelong dream, but it was there for a purpose and there for a reason. So I remember one day my boss called me in and he was yelling at me. He was like throwing stuff. He had an anger management problem, and he told me to shut up and sit down. And I did. And then I just left. When I was done, I left and I never went back. So I had no job lined up. I left my corporate career. I was the major breadwinner and I just left. And I think a lot of it had to do with just the feelings that I had of disrespect or whatever came into play there. But I remember driving home and feeling so excited. I felt free. I just kind of felt free to be me, who I really was supposed to be. So my journey was about self-reflection and really going back to when I was younger and what I loved to do and what would I do if I didn't get paid and what are my God-given gifts that I can figure out how to build a business around and how can I do what I really enjoy. And so that was a really big part of trying to make that decision on, well, I want to be my own boss and I want to be me, not them. And, what steps do I take? Well, the first thing was the financial piece. I was the major breadwinner, and now I was without a paycheck. And I needed to accept that I could do this on my own, that I didn't need to go work for corporate America again, that I could figure this out. And it wasn't easy. I think it's also important to note in this story that at the same time that I left my job, I left my husband of 20 years. So I left my job, left my husband, we sold our house, built 2 townhomes like a block from each other, and I started my company in the extra bedroom. And so I knew that I had a goal financially of how much I needed to at least pay the bills and, live for the next couple of years. And so it was really sitting there and establishing, well, how am I going to make this much money? And how can I pay the bills? So there was some, kind of a financial component to it for sure. So that was difficult. But I hate to admit that I was so excited. To do this, that I didn't even want people to know how happy I was. That great feeling that I had of freedom to be me. So that energy behind it was really important.